as we know it. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa. Our time is running out, and our time is running out.
Hi, I'm here in a bunker surviving the apocalypse. Again. It's the Ends of the World special. You see, I've called it the Ends of the World rather than the end because I'm not talking about a specific apocalypse. I'm talking about the many that I've already lived through up till this stage in my life. So I think my first understanding of the concept of an apocalypse was nuclear war back in the 80s. And in particular, a book by a gentleman called Raymond Briggs. So Raymond Briggs had this book that was about an old couple during a nuclear attack in 1980s Britain. So, as a child of about 12 years old, I remember reading that book and really being kind of worried about the idea that if it can be written as a book, then it could also happen in real life. The old art imitates life or life imitates art question. And I was growing up towards the middle and end of the 80s, so the Cold War was still going, but winding down. But yeah, so seeing a children's book, or at least what looked like a children's book, but was actually war propaganda, was quite an eye-opener for me. But it wasn't until jumping forward another decade or so to 1998, more or less, that no, specifically 1998, that I started working in a bank printing centre, and they were making preparations for Y2K, the Millennium Bug, and one of my jobs was to go around and test all the PCs around the building by simply changing the date and seeing what happened if you changed it from 99 to 00. And the bank had all kinds of contingency plans for what would happen if there was some kind of system meltdown. And so this added to my general paranoia, to the point where I became convinced that the Millennium Bug was going to kick in and make aeroplanes fall from the sky, and banks collapse and civilization crumble before our very eyes. So I decided to do exactly what Prince recommended. I planned a party, and the party consisted of going to my parents' house, where the spare room that we used to use for band practices was set up for a party for me and my mates, while my parents were simultaneously having a party for the family inside the house. So it was easy to wander between two different parties, one with the young people smoking and drinking and being young, and the other with older family members having a nice relaxed drink and a chat. And my reasoning behind the double party was, if there was some kind of apocalyptic situation, that I would have all my friends and family nearby ready to lead them, because I used to read a lot of survival books and things, and so I thought that I would probably be quite a useful member of a team, if not strategic leader. So the midnight hour arose, and soon after, people that were there that had mobile phones started trying to phone other friends and family, and found that the phone lines were down. And as we were wondering if this was surely the true beginning of the apocalypse, a friend who'd arrived just after midnight told us that he'd stopped at the bank to get some cash and found that it was out of service. And so this was another sign, you see. But the news on the TV seemed to be ticking over the same as it would any other New Year's morn, and gradually we started to realise that no, it wasn't the end of the world. I mean, most of the people that were there didn't even think anything of it anyway. It was just me making backup plans just in case. So yeah, then I think the next apocalypse that I survived was 2012.
I have goosebumps, people!
But yeah, I wasn't quite as sold on the 2012 thing as I had been on the 2000. But I was quite into conspiracy theories, so I started to notice how mainstream media seemed to be trying to pump up the idea, and especially when there was a movie released called 2012. It's like, look, they're deliberately trying to get everybody ready for this idea, in the same way that they were with the Millennium Book. I didn't make any particular preparations for this end of the world scenario, but by this point I was living in Spain, and in my current residence, where we're not in a big city, so the immediate danger of getting attacked by hordes of zombies is much less urgent. But yeah, so I didn't believe that the world was going to end in 2012, but it did spur me on to resurrect my debut novel, which I'd actually started as a teenager, back when I was worrying about the possibility of nuclear Armageddon. Yeah, I suppose the other apocalypse scenario was COVID.
So just relax. We're doing great. In this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
And 2020, I really do think of as year zero of a new calendar, because whether we like it or not, things have changed for good, and not necessarily for the better, but it's certainly been a wake-up call for a lot of people. On an individual basis, for me, 2020 wasn't only a stressful time psychologically speaking, but it was also the time that I injured my back, which didn't really flare up significantly until February of 2021, but the injury was done in October of 2020. And I remember thinking during the lockdowns that my own post-apocalypse fiction hadn't included pandemics, mainly because I'd read Stephen King's Stand, The Stand, and didn't want to rip him off. During the long days of the COVID lockdowns, it occurred to me that if this truly was going to be the end of the world, that I was kind of disappointed this time that it was going out in a kind of wet whimper, rather than a fiery horde. And it would have been a lot more interesting if there were flames falling from the sky. But yeah, it occurred to me that that pandemics are probably one of the more likely ways for a apocalypse to actually occur. But yeah, this constant, well, not constant, I mean it's one every decade more or less, but this decadal wobble of ups and downs of whether or not there's an end of the world on the horizon, I believe has shaped me to be the person that I am today. So this video is filmed a little bit after my usual deadline, because I've been playing around with the backgrounds and the green screen and stuff, and as you can see by all the artifacts and the crappy thing, I still haven't got the lighting right, and I'm quite frustrated. But you are going to see this background and this one in future streams, because I've decided that the end of the world is such an interesting topic that I can't do it justice in one 10 to 15 minute entry into my getting to know me A through Z, which I always mention in every video is part of the alphabet superset by Ruthless. And as far as the actual project goes, I'll say that I was maybe getting a bit stressed about not getting all this green screen stuff set up on time and overrunning my deadline, until I saw the latest, listened to the latest podcast by Struthless, where he put his E and F entries together because he'd missed his deadline as well. So I thought, well, at least I'm in good company. And bearing in mind that that his previous entry in his podcast was D for deadlines, and he put that out after I'd already started filming my D for deadlines, that basically he's stealing my ideas without knowing it. Yeah, so on that I shall say bye-bye. Take care, and if you survive, I'll see you forever.